Many content creators, when they hire their first talent manager, they expect them to deliver dream deals while they sit in a cabana sipping mojitos. Sounds pretty nice. Yet most creators are shocked to find that they're still grinding to try to get those brand deals even after signing on the dotted line with the talent manager. And they're paying on average 10 to 25% fees for it. If you're a content creator wondering whether a manager is worth hiring, here's what you should and shouldn't expect, plus some tips to find the right partner and hopefully improve the outcome of the relationship. Before we get into what you should expect from a manager, we need to kick off with a quick legal disclaimer. My name is Rustin. I'm a financial advisor who works specifically with content creators. This video is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute personalized financial, legal, or other professional advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy or sell any securities or an offer for advisory services. No offer may be made without delivery of our Form 80B and related disclosure documents as required by law. Advisory services are offered through my firm, 80% Financial, a registered investment advisor. We work with clients in jurisdictions where we are registered or exempt from registration. For important information about our services, fees, and disclosures, please review our Form 80B at 80percentfinancial.com. And as always, please consult with a qualified financial professional before making any kind of financial decisions. Many creators hire their first manager expecting them to be like a genie in a bottle. Endless brand deals, perfect contracts, and zero admin work for the creator. But that's really not how it works at all. Managers simply amplify your own efforts. They don't replace them. Good managers are not your assistants, they're your coach, and you still have to play the game. So what does a good talent manager actually do? And what should you expect from that relationship? A good manager can help you essentially craft your growth strategy, and they can connect you with brands, agencies, and collabs that align with your niche. They essentially expand your network. They can also help negotiate contracts, securing fair pay for the work that you're doing, provide clear deliverables within that contract, and help work with you to find rights that protect your brand and your IP. They essentially should help clarify expectations between the creator and the brand to ensure that you have a smooth and successful activation. Not only that, the best managers will help guide you toward new revenue streams and think about your business in maybe a different way than you thought before. You really want a manager who succeeds when you succeed, and you need to find one that has your best interest in mind. Okay, so that's a few expectations that you should have. What should you not expect from a manager? This first one probably doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyways. They don't make your content. They don't provide scripts. They're not creating a content calendar for you. They're not coming up with all of the copy and the ideas for the activations that you have with brands. They're not doing any editing or thumbnails. That's still on you. You're still the creator. You also shouldn't expect a manager to do all of the work to secure the brand deals. They can help open doors and brainstorm ways to improve the partnerships and to make you more marketable within the marketplace. But in many cases, you still have to pitch the brands. You still have to do the follow-up and build the relationships with the brands. Plus, you don't want to just outsource all of that to an agent. You want to have a direct relationship with the brand as well. Let's take a step back because at this point, I've discussed agencies and independent managers as being essentially one and the same. However, there's a few important distinctions that should be made between independent managers and agents or agencies. I'm also not saying that one is better than the other. They're just different. And so I want you to be aware of those differences. Let's talk about agencies first. They generally have bigger networks. They hire in-house PR and legal teams. They may even have creative teams in-house to help you brainstorm some ideas for some really interesting activations. It's pretty cool. Like whenever you work with an agency, they typically have a bigger team behind them to be able to help. But it's important to keep in mind that many agencies often prioritize their A-list clients over the smaller creators. And that should make sense. If an agency is paid 15% on $1 million contract with a brand, that raw dollar amount that they are earning as a commission is a heck of a lot higher than the 15% commission on a $10,000 activation with a smaller creator. I'm not saying that all agencies are like this either. There are some incredible agents that do a lot of really great work for smaller creators too. Just keep in mind that those conflicts of interest may exist. And also fees vary wildly. If you're working with an agency, they may have higher fees because they have a bigger team that they have to compensate. Independent managers, on the other hand, are typically a bit more personalized, sometimes with more flexible contracts between the manager and the creator, but just keep in mind that they're independent. They may not have a huge team behind them, and they may lack the clout of the big agencies. So it may be difficult for them to gain access to some of the larger brands. Again, this isn't the case in every situation. I personally know independent managers with very large networks and deep experience that have just as much access as some of the largest agencies. So this shouldn't be construed as a blanket statement. It's just a difference that you want to be aware of as a creator. Also keep in mind that your manager or your agency has to work both sides of the deal. Their clients are the brands. Their clients are also the creators that they work with. Your clients as a creator are also the brands. And so just be aware of that going into the relationship. Your agent or your manager is in the middle of a relationship between the brand and the creator. And it's a really tough position at times, especially if an activation isn't going so well. Just some food for thought here. The easier that you can make it to work with your manager and the brands, the more effective that your manager will become and the more successful that those brand partnerships will become. So again, it's partially on you as the creator to make that relationship go smoothly and to do everything that's in your power to be able to make the activation go smoothly as well. With that out of the way, here are a few tips for choosing a manager. The first on the list is to ask the hard questions. Now, this is something that most creators who are new to the talent management piece of their business feel really nervous about. And I get it. Like, confrontation and asking difficult questions, especially when you haven't done it before, is tough. I would encourage you, though, that it's better to have an uncomfortable minute than an uncomfortable year working with somebody who you don't perfectly align with. So make sure that you're having those hard conversations up front and see how they respond to them. Next on the list is to not make a decision after a single call to the first agency or the manager that you meet. If this person is to become a long-term business partner, then you need to treat the relationship kind of like dating. You have to get to know them. It's also prudent to figure out who is best suited for you, your channel, and your vision. Not everyone will be a perfect fit, and that's okay. You're trying to find a manager who fits best with you and your channel and your vision. Interview quite a few people. And if you know other creators who are working with the same manager, then you can ask about their experiences as well. All right, third thing on the list is to understand their fee structure. Industry average for talent managers is somewhere between 10 and 25% commissions on deals that they bring to you. Now, I've seen certain agencies and talent managers take 40, 50, or even 60% on deals that they secure. And in my opinion, many of those agreements are severely predatory, but the creators who signed them didn't really know any better. And so I'm trying to keep that from being you. It's also important in those contracts to be aware of retainers or hidden costs like travel markups. There are a lot of agencies and managers out there who take really great care of their creators and want the best for them. There are also plenty of agencies and managers out there who take egregious advantage of creators. Before signing those contracts, I do recommend consulting with a legal professional and get some counsel from an unbiased third party to make sure that you know what you're getting into, you know what the fees are, and you know what to expect. Good managers and agencies put in a ton of work for their creators, so their services can be beneficial and their fees are justifiable. Just know what you're getting into before you sign that deal. Next on the list is to ask about their track record. It's perfectly acceptable whenever you're interviewing talent managers to ask for case studies, typical deal sizes, or creators that they've helped grow in the past. During these conversations too, I would encourage you to press into the expectations that they, the manager, have of you as the creator, and then also ask what you should be able to expect of them as the manager. And this kind of goes into this next point, which is establishing clear expectations. The more clear your expectations are up front of what you should expect from them and what they should expect of you, the more smooth that relationship is going. And that kind of flows into this next tip, which is review the relationship. So just because you sign doesn't mean that you're done. Review the relationship in 6 to 12 months after you've started working with them and just ask yourself two simple questions. Have they delivered what they said they would deliver? And have you delivered on your end of the expectations that were set up front? If they've delivered everything and you haven't delivered on your side of the deal, then you can't be pointing your finger at them for not bringing those deals. And consequently, if you've done every single thing that they have asked of you to be able to make yourself more marketable and they have not delivered on their end of the expectations, then it might be worth, having another conversation with them or finding a different manager. The point is that good counsel, advisors, and managers can only work with what you have given them to work with. I recently recorded an interview with Darren Glover, and he had a really good point. He said to ask this question to your manager: what can I do to make me more marketable in the marketplace? And that's such an interesting thought, right? Like, most creators aren't asking, what should I be doing to improve my odds of success? It was an excellent interview. He's the senior vice president of gaming at VaynerMedia. So if you're interested to hear from an agency representation perspective, I'll put a card up in the top. Go check out that video. Our last tip on the list is to ask about their communication style. Are they the type of manager that you only hear from when there's an activation, or do they provide weekly, monthly, or quarterly calls? The last thing that you want as a creator is to sign with a manager and then literally never hear from them again. My thought process when working with creators is this. If you are new to a certain advisor or a certain piece of your business, it's more beneficial to have more frequent calls with that individual until you really learn and get up to speed and are starting to work together well. Now, if you want to taper off calls and meetings into the future, that's perfectly acceptable. It's really just a matter of learning, diving in and doing anything that the manager is asking to be able to make you more marketable. And then as things start flowing and brand deals start coming in, then maybe you can taper off as you become more comfortable with what you're working on, you and your manager are more on the same page, etc. The TLDR here is that you just really want to make sure that their communication style matches how you want to work with a manager. If you are brand new to the talent management piece of your business and working with brands, and the manager says that they only reach out to creators once or twice a year, then it may not be a good fit. My recommendation would be to have more coaching, more mentorship, more calls up front, and then taper those off over time. Ultimately, hiring representation for your channel it's not a shortcut, but with the right manager as your coach, your mentor, your partner, then your work for brands can become more successful, which allows you to secure higher and higher value deals and ultimately scale your brand. So do your homework, ask the tough questions, and find somebody who is all in on your vision of where you want to take your channel. If you found this video useful, I genuinely appreciate the support, and consider subscribing for more guides on financial planning and business management for content creators. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.